this day and age, could we ever really live without a smartphone? And would we actually want to if we could? These are two questions that I have spent an exorbitant amount of time thinking about over the last few months. Because something hasn't been sitting right. Something hasn't been feeling okay for far too long. And I've finally gotten tired enough of my personal daily smartphone battle that I've come to the realization that the effort toward my goal has been a bit misdirected. And so I've set out to try something a little different regarding the interaction I have with my phone. I think the hardest thing about using my smartphone in a healthy and minimalist way is that because it has so flawlessly become such an integral part of how I maneuver through and exist within the world, because I use it seamlessly and thoughtlessly for so many things, it has become hard to keep it from myself when I don't really actually need it. What I mean by this is that even if I tell myself to use those addictive or attention-stealing apps less, at some point I'll be doing or going to do something productive, like setting a timer to meditate or checking the temperature outside, only to trip right onto one or some of those apps. And the ball just keeps rolling after that first trip. And then it's just game over for good-intentioned, productive Lyndsay. I've always seen it that you get the good with the bad on your smartphone. That is just the way it works. There is the productive stuff and there's the
Push. You got it. It's right there.
anti-productive stuff. And it all just has to be there. They all live together. That is the wonder and the curse of the smartphone as we know it. But I think that this fallacy that you just have the addictive or the time-sucking apps with the very helpful ones is the real issue that has gotten me to this dire dilemma of stress and frustration with my phone. Yes, all the potently addictive apps I have on there have the power and the potential to jump me at any spare moment and exert themselves onto my life with their syrupy sweetness. But it's up to me what apps I choose to download, to use, to keep, and to interact with. It's up to me how I curate and use my own phone for my life. And I don't need to be on all the social media apps just because so many others are. It doesn't make me a dinosaur or obsolete. It doesn't mean I'm missing out on any imperative information. And it doesn't mean that I'm uncool. Well, I think that I might actually be uncool, but to me that makes me cool. So it's okay. So this tasty morsel of truth, realizing that I owe it to myself to be extraordinarily mindful with the apps that I decide to keep and interact with on my phone during my softest and most vulnerable moments, is my powerful and empowering new realization. It's up to me to make decisions that will help me to live in the way that will make me feel and be better, more content, productive, and more at ease. It's that basic, and yet it was so hard to get to. I wasn't doing that before. If it was a free app, I downloaded whatever looked interesting or seemed popular. I was letting my phone happen to me, and then wondering why I didn't feel in control. It was because I wasn't. I I think we all generally just think that if it's an app that everyone has, then we should have it too. But the truth is, we only have so much time in a day and in our little lives. So the more social media or apps in general that we have, the more time that they will have the opportunity to take away from us, from our life and from our goals. And when we throw in the power of the addiction that they have over us, we could be kind of sunk. For so many years, I took the approach that I just needed to be stronger to fight against the pull towards my unhealthy phone activity. As the years went by, I took it upon myself to blame myself for my being distracted by my phone. And so I came up with a regimen of ways to keep myself from it. Start the day without your phone. End the day without your phone. Have one day a week where you don't go on your phone. Have a phone schedule during the day. Keep your phone in another room. These rules are sound, and I believe them to be helpful. But to need all these rules to just get through the day without complete social media derailment, maybe the issue is in the apps, not in my inability to keep myself from them. I started to think that maybe the addictive power of the apps on my phone was stronger than I was giving it credit for. And because of that, I started to feel a frustrating futility in these attempts that I was making. In the midst of this battle of frustration, I read the book Stolen Focus and learned more about that true power of the modern world's obsession with distraction, with our phones, social media, and the internet, and its impact and about what it is truly doing to our minds and to our society. And I started to realize that the issues that I was having really weren't just because I was weak to the temptations. This stuff is designed to distract us away from our rightful life. After I read the book, I downloaded a program to lock the apps out of my phone and computer when I didn't think that I needed them on a schedule. And shortly after that, I learned it still wasn't enough for me. I could always find a way to get lost in social media, and I could always find a way to get to it if it was on my phone. Nothing felt like it was working, and I was so tired. I desperately wanted my phone to be a tool again, and it still felt so far from being just that. I wasn't using my phone. My phone still felt like it was using me. But then I snapped. Or it snapped. Something snapped. I thought to myself, maybe I just need to take the enticement off the table. Maybe I just need to get a dumb phone. If I don't have access to social media, the internet, shopping, and all the garbage that plagues my mind and my busy little thumbs, maybe I can have my life back. So I started looking into dumb phones, and I loved the idea. But as I really thought through the logistics, the question grew stronger. In this society, could I really live without a smartphone? And did I really want to? I wasn't sure. But being in this truly intense state of exhausted desperation allowed me to be drastic in my next move. So where I wasn't quite prepared to go full-on dumb phone quite yet, I got to the eye of the storm of my true issue, and I did my own version of a colossal phone declutter. I got rid of all my social media apps. And I went a step further and got rid of all of the apps that have the ability to be the things that my digits and my half-sleeping mind just trips onto when I wasn't really thinking. I kept only the apps that I use as mere and clear tools on my phone. I sliced everything that I didn't really need. Email, banking, and shopping apps. Everything that I didn't consider to be a clear and actual tool. There was no reason that I couldn't get rid of them and use those apps or look them up on my computer a couple times a day. So I did. I got rid of all the apps that stole my time and my mind from me. And it felt profound. At first, it was strange to not have a reason to grab my phone when I was bored or uncomfortable. And sometimes I would. It had been my go-to for years. But with nothing there, I'd quickly move on. Slowly, my phone started to become a tool and not a pacifier. And now, after a few months, my phone has taken on an entire new role in my life. The demystified position of being a mere thing again. The role of making my life better when possible, being available and effective for tasks that it can help with, and stepping out of my way when it doesn't need or deserve to be involved. No longer exhorting itself onto me when it can't do something that I need to get done. When I stopped allowing my phone to take on the role of pacifier, anxiety quencher, boredom buster, and personal dumbifier, I gave myself back an opportunity at a life poised for fulfillment, choices, and living. Having turned my phone into a version of dumb phone that works for me, the version that can do all the random things that I need it to throughout the day, it works for me as a perfectly curated tool. Throughout this experiment, I have learned that if I want my life back, then it's up to me to make my phone a brilliantly dumb one. I believe in the dumb phone, but I also believe that we can make our smartphone effectively dumb by choosing mindfully what apps we take advantage of, and leaving out the apps that were created to take advantage of us. It's hard, but it is possible. Our phone isn't the answer to the questions that we haven't construed yet, but if we aren't mindful, it will try to be. That's what social media is. It's an attempt to answer a question we haven't taken the time or the mental energy to ask yet that will ultimately help with powerful companies' bottom lines, not with our mental well-being or our productivity. So that is my own simple solve for my phone addiction, demoting it back into being a thing that holds some tools to make my life easier for me. And what I have mindfully chosen to keep in this pocket-sized tech rectangle are things that I trust that I can use responsibly. And if I'm bored, well, either I should embrace that feeling for what it is, a beautiful, powerful space where creativity and ingenuity is poised to spark, or maybe I should actively decide to do something for myself, or for someone else, or I'll take my lovely dog for a walk.
Why are you in the cold water?
What about you? Do you feel like you have a good relationship with your phone? Do you consider your phone to be a tool, or does your screen time sometimes get away from you? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested, like, share, and subscribe to my little channel, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks so much for going on the journey with me. Bye.